today's video is going to be a voiceover, and I'm going to start off with my brows. I'm using the Chastique brow pencil. It's a duo. I got it in a BoxyCharm, and it's a definer on one end and gel on the other. And I'm just filling in my brows. I'm brushing through them just to make sure that everything's filled in. And now I'm using the gel parts of the brow product, combing through just to set everything and kind of darken it up a little bit. And I'll have everything linked down because I don't remember the name of every product that I'm using today. But that's just how I do my brows when I'm trying to do something quick. Nothing crazy. Now I'm going to go on with concealer. That is the Too Faced Multi-Sculpting Concealer. It's in the shade Golden. And I'm just going to put a dot under my eyes, as you can see. I do this sometimes just so that I can control the amount of product that I'm using. And I outline the bottom, highlight the bottom or whatever, carve it out, and then I use whatever's left on the brush to carve out the top. And that's what I do when I'm in a rush. I mean, it just kind of saves time. At least I think so. And I'll do that on both sides. So brows are done. Now I'm going in with the primer. It's the Touch and Soul primer I got in a BoxyCharm. It's a smoothing one. I think it's the Icy primer. And I put that in my T-zone. It's a smoothing primer, so I'm putting it everywhere where I want to make my pores look smooth. And whatever's left on my fingers, I just kind of spread all over my face. And then I'm going to go in with another primer spray. From Wet n Wild SpongeBob collection. And I do the perimeter of my face first. And then just hit the middle. Because I want this to be matte. And so that's kind of glowy. Now I'm going in with my foundation. It's the Il Makiage Woke Up Like This foundation in the shade 175. And so I was looking to see like if it's my shade. And you'll see I'm kind of on the fence about the shade. It looked really red, as you can tell. It looked really red to me. But I was like, hey, kind of got to keep going. So I just continued to apply it. And I'm using the Il Makiage foundation brush as well. I bought the foundation and the brush came. They gave it to me for free. And I added more because the coverage it wasn't covering my dark spots. And I thought this was going to be full coverage, supposed to be your perfect skin tone. It's not doing it for me, but I'm going to continue to use it just to see. So I'm going to continue to just apply this everywhere on my face, the second layer. And then I'm kind of patting the second time. Because I swiped the first time and I was like, well, maybe that's why I wouldn't ask full coverage. So I'm building it up and I'm kind of just like patting it in the skin. And it matched my forehead fine, which is rare because I normally never can find a good foundation for my forehead. But it looked okay. It started to grow on me. Once it dried down a little bit, it started to look a little bit more my shade. But it is what it is. Now I'm just going to conceal with the same concealer I used for under my brows. And I forgot that it's like a lot comes out. Because I don't really use this concealer unless I want it to be full coverage. So when I film, I tend to use it. So I forgot like a lot came out. And I use like way too much concealer under my eyes. But I'm going to try to fix it. It's just sometimes I'm a little heavy-handed. And I was hoping that this shade would kind of balance out how dark the foundation was. And I think eventually, when I get a little bit more tanned, it probably would be a better match. Right now I'm kind of in between, not like exactly my summer shade. So I think this would be a good summer shade for me, but I'm gonna try to balance it out with this concealer. And I put way too much concealer on that side of the eye. It was really weird. I don't know how, because I did it the same, I thought, but I'm gonna fix it. Like, it'll all come together. And I'm just blending it out. And I want this summer look to be a matte look, because I tend to always like glowy makeup, but for summer you need to be matte. So the foundation dries down matte. The concealer is a more of a matte concealer. Plus my powders and everything, it'll be matte. So I'm blending the concealer in a little bit more, kind of blending out the edges. And I was like, something's off, and I realized I didn't bring the concealer to my eyelid to cancel out that color and kind of prime the lid too. It just looked like it was more on one side than it was the other, but it kind of blended in and you couldn't really tell. So that's that. Now I'm on to my Airspun powder, and I'm just going to set everywhere I put the concealer. It's in the shade Translucent, and this will also help you stay matte, because this is really, really hot outside, and it takes only 5 minutes of you being outside to start sweating. And I'm oily skin anyway, so my oils are going to come out regardless of the weather. But when it's summertime, it's like on 100. My oils come out, so I kind of not go heavy on the powder, but a lot heavier than I would like on my natural routine. Normally I just set with a brush, dust it off immediately, but I let that one stay on a little bit. And now I'm going in with some bronzer from Alamar Cosmetics, and this is in the deep rich trio. I am in the medium, the middle one, but I can't seem to find my bronzer, so I've just been using that middle color to bronze up the skin. It's a little bit darker than I would like, and it's a little bit more on the red side, but I figured it would work since my foundation is kind of on the red side too, just for the perimeter of my face, to try to kind of help that concealer, which was a little bit too heavy. But I'm just dusting everything off the translucent powder. I'm dusting everything and kind of blending as I go. So it's starting to look a lot better. Granted, the shade of everything, and I'm listening to music as I'm filming, which I don't typically do, but I feel like it was summer, so I needed to get into the mood. And now I'm going in with some blush from Wet n Wild. I think it's Pearlescent Pink. And it's not very pigmented, but it's a glowy, shimmery blush. I didn't want to go too heavy on the blush, because blush can always take your look over the edge. So I tried to stay within like a natural looking blush, but still have some type of color. Not a lot, but it was just enough. Just enough to kind of tie in with the rest of the look. And I'm just trying to kind of blend everything together to look a little bit more natural. Now I'm going to go in with the Ruby Kisses Matte Foundation Powder. And I was debating if I should use that. This is what I use on an everyday to kind of set my foundation, give my foundation a little bit more coverage, because I try not to wear full coverage makeup every day when I go to work. But since I'm filming, I wanted to show you guys how they have full coverage summer look. And so I use that to kind of set everything and give a little bit more coverage. Now I'm highlighting with the Ofra Cosmetics highlighter in Blissful, and I realized that I forgot my highlighter brush, so I'm literally using the edge. You see me dancing. I love this highlighter. I'm using the edge of my blush brush to highlight, but this highlight is beaming, and you want to be glowy during summer, and this highlighter is like bomb, and it lasts all day. It doesn't like fade. It looks wet. It's just, I love it. It's bomb. I always get happy when I apply highlighter. So now I do believe I am jamming out, y'all. I'm trying to see, what am I about to do? I am really cutting up. So I just added a little bit of powder to my lids to kind of set that concealer that I put up there. Now I am going to do a liner look, and I'm using some wet liners from Candy Girl Cosmetics. I bought from Instagram, and I got a lot of colors. I got 10, but I'm using just 4 colors today. And I thought about editing out like all my errors, but I want you guys to see that it was a struggle. I've never used liners before, wet liners, and so this is my first time trying to apply them. I literally didn't have the right brush. This is just like a little like liner brush that came in like a set of brushes that I got from BoxyCharm. And so I use it because it's the thinnest brush that I have. And I'm applying the yellow first, then a green, and then a bright neon pink. In the containers, the green looked more neon green and the yellow looked more yellow, but once I applied it, the yellow looks lime green, the green looks like aqua, and then the pink was fine. But I want you guys to see the struggle because it was real. I didn't really have the right brush. I couldn't control the amount of product. I have to keep dipping back in, and it's just, you guys are going to see. Like, they just didn't come out the same. But I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, I'm practicing actually, but it's like practicing live while recording. Instead of me practicing a couple of times, mastering it, and then recording it. No, I'm recording it as I'm going, because that's what I just tend to do. I just start filming not knowing exactly what I'm doing. So what I envisioned in my head didn't actually turn out that way. But you all will see. And like that part was a little bit fatter than I liked it to be. But I'm checking and they're not the same, but it's really hard to have things exactly the same. Like, one's not going to come out the same. One's going to be higher, one's going to be lower, one's going to be thinner, one might be fatter. Like, I got to master it. So as it dried down, the color changed a little bit. So I'm just building back up that yellow. And I believe it's Sunflower is the shade. And I'll have everything linked, and, you know, a link to her page if you guys do want to pick up these wet liners. But that one is Sunflower, and it's yellow. But it's coming off more green, which is fine because that's what I thought the green was going to look like. And that's the vibe that I was going for. I wanted my liner to be pink and green, but like a neon green and a neon pink. So, you'll just see me build up the color and try to kind of fix any little mistakes. And this liner is no different from like wing. When you mess up your wing, you try to fix it and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah, that's what I end up doing. I tried to fix it and it just changed and morphed into something completely different, and I was just flown with it. See, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm gonna practice though, because I know like for summer you want it to be bright colors, you want it to be, you know, like extravagant eye makeup, and this is the trend now, so I gotta get it together and figure out how to make my wing liners and my graphic liners come out bomb. But moving on. So as I was doing it, lean back was on. And you know, Remy Ma part came on, so I had to, you'll see. I think I'm rapping. I think I'm a rapper. Yeah, that was my part. Everybody knew that part back in the day. Yeah, it is. That was me. And now I'm taking a light pink shade and creating just a normal wing. And this shade is actually called WAP. I can't forget that. And it's a light pink, and it actually stayed the color that it was in the container. That light pink and then that neon pink, like they look like that dry and wet, versus the green and the yellow, they change once you wet them. But I'm making this, and I'm not real good at wing liners without being like really close to the mirror or holding my eyes or everything. So you guys might see me get out of frame every now and then because I'm getting closer to like my big mirror to try to see what I'm doing. And I actually plan on putting a shimmer on my lid, but I realized that I made the pink too thick, so I really didn't have any space left on my lid, and I just knew it probably would look crazy if I put the gold shimmer in that space that was didn't have any color in it. So I just left it alone because that's actually what I envisioned. So now I'm going in with the mascara from Kiss New York. It's the Volume and Define, I believe. And I got that gifted to me. And now I'm going to apply these lashes. These lashes were gifted to me by wessentials. And it's just a beauty shop where you can buy Ruby Kisses, Kiss products, all in one place. And so I'm an ambassador for wessentials Official, and I'll have everything linked. And they sent me some products, and in the package I got these V-Luxe DIY lash extensions. So you see me applying them, and I struggled with them. It took me a nice little minute to get them right, but you apply the sealer like mascara, and then you apply the lashes, and then you put that seal on it. And yeah, I struggled. So there you go with the bond. That's what makes it stick. Those are the lashes. And then I'm applying them underneath. You apply them underneath your lashes, not on top, to make them look more natural and like lash extensions. And I'm gonna play with these a little bit more because I struggled, you'll see, but these are really, really, really pretty. They're a little bit longer than and more like dramatic than I would wear on a normal day. So I'm gonna look for some more natural ones, some not as long, and I'm gonna definitely invest in these because I really like them. They're super pretty. And they do look natural just for the fact that the lashes are underneath. You see, one came off. So I have to apply some more bond and then stick it on there. And you'll see, like if you get these, you'll see like you have to play around with them. But once you get the hang of it, they're cool. And now that I got them on, I put the seal on. And they will last. They're supposed to last a couple of days. And I've also was sent the overnighter, which is another sealant that you put on, and then they last up to a week, I believe. And I applied those after, but you didn't see. So I did not like how my top part looked. So I took it off and I decided to just use the sunflower shade and to morph it into the pink. And when I did that, it slowly turned like orange where the yellow and the pink mixed, and I thought that was pretty. It's just that green that I thought was going to be green wasn't doing it for me. It was just throwing the look off. I wanted a more lime green pink look, so I just took it away since that yellow looked lime green anyway. And then I'm finishing it off with the Maybelline lip gloss and topaz, some setting spray, and I'm also going to use this matte setting spray that I got from wessentials. It's by Kiss. It's the matte finishing spray. Since this is a summer look, we want to keep everything matte. Try to control those oils. But this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.